bro. Bro, I was super excited. So I've been in the laboratory all day, bro, whipping it, cooking up that spice, man, whipping up that sauce, and preparing, playtesting, practicing, taking cards out, putting cards in. This card doesn't work. I keep breaking on this. I take this out because I keep breaking on it. Let me put this in. Let me test this out. I have finally cooked up something right. My subscriber Fifan, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Fifan asked me what about Metaphys on my Thunder Dragon profile in the comments. Was like, what about Metaphys? And I was like, I haven't had a Metaphys deck profile on my channel since last year when me and Ed did Lightsworn Invoked Metaphys. Lightsworn Invoked Metaphys. You guys definitely check that out. It's pretty awesome. It's a really, really cool deck. But today, what I'm showcasing to you guys after strenuous playtesting, after oh, this isn't working, this is breaking, take this out, put this in, oh, I keep breaking on this, I'm drawing this too much, all this practice, all this playtesting, all this making my head go crazy. I finally got it down to where I want it. Metaphys Invoked Thunder Dragons. One deck, 3 strategies, beautiful cohesion, properties that actually complement one another and have a unique collaborative scheme, which is really cool. So I'm going to showcase you guys the build. Okay, let's do this. So like I said, it's Metaphys Invoked Thunder Dragons. Everything works together. It's crazy. All right, so we're going to start off with the Metaphys portion. We're going to start off with our triple Ragnarok, the best normal summon in the deck next to Alistair. You play 2 normal summons in this deck, Alistair and Ragnarok. That's it. So you're either normal summoning Ragnarok or you're normal summoning Alistair. So Ragnarok can be a really, really sacky card because what this card does is when it's normal summon, what has to sack. It really has to sack. That's the only way to get the benefit off of its normal summon. But it says you can banish the top 3 cards of your deck. And for any Metaphys card, he gains 500 attack, which is really cool. And also, if he does battle damage to your opponent, he gains 300 attack. If he does battle damage to your opponent, he summons a Metaphys from your deck and then banishes during the end phase. Metaphys have to be banished. That's how they get their best benefits. But what this card does is he's a sack on normal summon, meaning you have to, off the top 3, you have to hit the right card. It can hurt. Sometimes you hit or miss. Sometimes you banish a card you didn't want to, but it's worth it. Because this card on normal summon can banish your Thunder Dragons and your Metaphyses, which has happened. I have had a little sack, cute little sack, hidden the Bestial Roar, and hidden off of Tyrant Dragon, and the other card was, I think, Thunder Dragon Fusion, and that kind of sucked. And you got a little bit of place. So yeah, when you sack with this card, it's pretty powerful, because you have the potential of banishing your Thunder Dragons and your Metaphys off this card, which is really good. And both of them get their effects off of banish. So yeah, Ragnarok is one of the cohesive properties of this deck that allows like I said, for the archetypes to have this collaborative scheme where they both work together and synergize really well. So yeah, triple Ragnarok, and he's a tuner, so if you want to play synchros, you can. That's just an option. Next up is Metaphys Daedalus. So I'm going to play Metaphys Daedalus and Metaphys next to each other, because these cards are your Infernoid Anunchu and Infernoid Deviati, just in a weird way. So Metaphyses, the Big Daddy Metaphyses, this is the daddy and this is the mama. So Big Daddy, all of them get their effect if they're banished. So if they're banished during the next standby, they put themselves back into the deck and then they do one or the other property. So what this guy does is if he's banished during the standby, you put him back into the deck and then you banish another Metaphys card from your deck, except itself. If she's banished, she puts herself back into the deck and then she adds a Metaphys card from deck to your hand. So Gold Sark can either be a search off your Metaphys, or Gold Sark can be a search for your Thunder Dragon engine, which is really cool. So Gold Sark has a lot of options in this deck. But their best effects are if they're special summoned through the effect of a Metaphys. He banishes all special summon monsters on the field, doesn't target, doesn't destroy, just banishes. And she banishes all set spells or traps on the field. So they are a little different from Anunchu and Deviati, being that they don't destroy, they actually just banish. But for him, the monsters have to be special summoned, and for her, the spells or traps have to be set. Whereas Anunchu just destroys all monsters, and Deviati just destroys all spells or traps. But the benefit is they banish. So if you're able to resolve them, you can just really, like, take control of the game instantly. And it's really cool when you're able to resolve both of them in the same turn. But you have to set up. This deck is a setup kind of deck. Metaphys is already kind of slow. That's why I felt that the Thunder Dragon and the Invoke engine would really help you to get turn 1 plays. Because Metaphys don't really have turn 1 plays. Believe it or not, they don't. Because their banish effects trigger on the next standby. So they always, Metaphys is a really good engine that gives you follow-ups, follow-ups, follow-ups. You get consistent follow-ups that guarantee that you have a play to make on your next turn, but you need something to what? Hold you down in the meantime. That's where your Thunder Dragon engine comes in. That's where your Invoked engine comes in, because they allow you to summon out fusions that can control the tide of the duel and allow you to be more reactive or what? Proactive. Proactive with Colossus, reactive with Mechaba. Makes sense? So it gives you plays to make that can protect your board and enable you to resolve the effects you need, because your Metaphys are actually the win conditions of the deck that allow you to push for game. Colossus and Titan can be win conditions too, but the Metaphys allow you to push for game because they're going to bust a board wide open and you're just going to be able to kill. So yeah, these are the cards that you use to go for the kill. I also played one more Metaphys monster, just one Tyrant Dragon. I felt that Tyrant Dragon was cute. He was cool, but I really just liked him for his ability to special summon from hand. That's just an extension play, but it's not always that optimal. If he is banished, he special summons one from hand, and you have to do it on the next standby just like the rest of them. And also, if he gets summoned, he's unaffected by traps, which can be relevant in the Altergeist matchup, and he can attack twice. If he attacks a monster, he can make a second attack in a row. So yeah, he's pretty cool. And then also, they always get banished during the end phase. If I'm not mistaken, they get banished during the end phase. Well, this guy does. The monster that he summons gets banished during the end phase. So whatever you summon from your hand will get banished, and that effect will be triggered. So this deck has what I call a snowball effect. So it's a culmination of multiple effects, nearly a plethora, I should say, of multiple effects that all lead from one to another. One leads to this, one leads to that, one leads to that. And before you know it, you have this cute little circle of life going on with your Metaphys, and they just continue doing that. You just endlessly do it. Once you get the cycle going, it's a snowball, and it doesn't actually stop. As long as you continue to resolve the effects and then banish them and continue to resolve it and banish them, every single follow-up, you have a push. So this deck can be really annoying to grind against. I will say that. Because if you don't have the out, your whole field's going to get banished by Daedalus. If you're playing Altergeist and you don't have the out, all your back rows that aren't protocols are going to get banished. And even if you chain Manifestation and summon, it's like, it doesn't even matter, bro. Like, it doesn't even matter. Because at that point, you're activating it in an awkward position. So yeah, that's your Metaphys portion of the deck. So you play 10 Metaphys monsters. I think that's enough. Because with this deck, when you're playing hybrid variations, you don't want to play too much of anything. You want to play just enough to where you can open optimal with each engine. Next up, our Thunder Dragon engine. We play Double Dark, Double Roar. I called them Bestial by accident. Double Hawk, and Double Matrix. I felt that 8 was a really good number. I didn't want to cut any of them to 1, right? But also at the same time, I didn't want to play any of them at 3. Even though some can be better in certain scenarios, the Metaphys engine and the Metaphys playstyle allows you to circumvent for a lot of that. So I felt that 2 of each was perfect, right? Because you want to resolve multiples, you actually want to open up with enough of them, at least 2. Sometimes 1 is good enough, because you have cards like Gold Sark and Crossbreed and all that good stuff that can really, really help you. But ultimately, I felt that 2 of each was perfect. I mean, they all do what they do, but they also help you to set up for your turn 1 play, so you get that one-sided Thunder King Ryo, or you can pump out, depending on how optimal the opening is. Because just because you're not playing 3 of all of them does not mean you cannot open with double Colossus and Titan. You can still do that. You just have to open with certain cards, like, for example, if you have Gold Sark plus, one of these other guys, depending on which one it is, you can still do that. You don't get to do Battery Man Solar because you have better normal summons than that, but you can still end on those boards. You just have to have the optimal hand. So double Colossus and Titan is already probably going to be game. But then also on the standby, you're searching a follow-up off of Metaphys. You're getting a play off of Daedalus, and then you can just summon these guys from your Tyrant, because that's what's really cool. I like to use Metaphys to search Tyrant and then hit Tyrant. That way Tyrant can special summon these guys from the hand, and these guys get triggered whenever they're special summoned by a Metaphys. So Tyrant Dragon can bring out your big guys like Metaphys and Daedalus, and they will banish everything, which is really cool. So yeah. And I mean, it kind of sucks because sometimes like this guy, he special summons, he banishes all special summon monsters on the field. So it kind of sucks, like, if you already have an established board, you will not use that effect because it's optional. You can choose to actually summon them off of your Tyrant Dragon if you want to, and you could choose to not. But it does kind of suck when you have an established board. But also at the same time, it just guarantees that even if your board gets broken, you could crack their board wide open too and get a follow-up and reestablish. And finally, to sum up the monsters, we played 2 Alistair the Invoker. This is all you need. So your normal summons can go to Ragnarok or Alistair. Sometimes I have in weird scenarios normal summon Matrix to get the Thunder effect monster I need on field because I didn't open with the Gold Sark and you know, my Avion needed a target. So yeah, it helps. So that's the monsters. Now we have the spells. My spiciest, most flamiest, super tech crossbreed. This card works with either engine, the Thunder Dragon engine, or it even works with the Metaphys engine. I played this at 2 in my Thunder Dragon deck because it actually helps your weird, awkward hands. And it's really, really powerful. Especially, it's better to resolve this with the Metaphys sometimes because you'll have, like, for example, a Metaphys and also a Daedalus. And what you'll do is you'll crossbreed those away, banish those guys, and then you'll search out your Ragnarok. You'll normal summon your Ragnarok, get his effect, hopefully banish the Thunder Dragon. You have to sack with him. That's the unfortunate but true thing. You have to sack with him. And then you have follow-ups off of these because this guy will banish another card, which can get you another extended play, and then this guy will search you something. And you just have Snowball already started. You've already started your Snowball off of Crossbreed. Or you can banish your Thunder Dragons, search another one, get their effects off. It's really good. They just have to be a same type, same attribute. That's it. It's just broken though. Crossbreed is really amazing. It's actually a starter card in this deck. It's actually a starter card, which is really cool because it's naturally not used that way. And then the real one-card combo, Gold Sark. This is how you circumvent for playing only 8 Thunder Dragon names because one Gold Sark is the... I threw that super far. One Gold Sark is the equivalent of 1 Colossus, which is really good. So even if you have not the most optimal hand, but you have, like, for example, Crossbreed Gold Sark, and you have the Metaphys guys, you can crossbreed your Metaphys guys, get your setup for your next turn, and then Gold Sark into your 1 Colossus and hold it down with that 1 Colossus. But that's your worst opening. Sometimes you have amazing openings where you go into Colossus and your Invoked Mechaba, or you can go Titan, Invoked Mechaba, or you can actually go Colossus, Titan, Mechaba, because you can tribute the Summer Summoner, and he's a Thunder Effect monster, summon Colossus there, have Titan there, and have Mechaba. But that's if you open perfectly with your Alistair and then your basic Thunder Dragon combo. Next up, we have some field spells. We have 2 factors. You can summon your level 5 or higher guys by without tributing, which is not that relevant. But what's really relevant is your Metaphys effects cannot be negated. This is like Altergeist Protocol before, Altergeist got really good. But Metaphys are just like really good with this field spell, complementing everything you do because this allows you to go off with your plays and your opponent cannot respond. So now, a card like Metaphys cannot be Altergeist Protocol. It cannot be Trigate Wizard. It cannot be Solemn Strike. The same as Daedalus. Now these cards are going to wipe the field. There's no way to stop it unless you pop the field spell first and then negate them after. But if this field spell is up and face up and active, you're summoning these guys, they're not stopping you. You're going to banish their whole field because they can't negate them at all. So it's really good. It's a really good field spell, but only at 2 because you can search it and you play Terraformings. Optimus Primes. 2 copies of the Hot Sauce, obviously for your Invoked engine, and 2 copies of Optimus Prime. You have 2 targets for it. And then also for another 2 we play double Invocation, just at 2. You can use Invocation to summon your Thunder Dragon guys or go into your Invoked fusions. The main one I go into is Mechaba or Purgatrio for game if they Ash Blossom me and I have the fire. Then 1 Thunder Dragon fusion you can brick if you play more, and it's searchable, and you can actually put it back into your hand from your Banished Owner Grave with your Roar, your Thunder Dragon Roar. That's it for our spells. Next up are traps. We only play Metaphys traps because these are the best traps to play in this deck. These give you a really good control element. So, Dimension, let's talk about this. This is like Dark Magical Circle. It has great effects. So if your opponent special summons a monster, you can target one of your banished Metaphys monsters and special summon them. Okay? And if one of your Metaphys cards in your possession is banished, you can banish a card on the field. So that allows you to get over the Thunder Dragons and also cards that say, I can't be destroyed by card effects, So this banishes cards, any card. It could be Spell, Trap, or Monster. It just banishes cards. So it's a really reactive combo piece. It really, really works well when you're doing it on your turn too, because you can clear stuff and then push. You can like clear, for example, that 1 pesky monster and then go into Metaphys and banish the back row, or clear that 1 pesky back row and go into Daedalus and then banish the monster. So it's really good. It's a reactive combo piece, and it allows you to extend your board, get more monsters on field, and also keep in mind that this is a Metaphys effect. So when you summon your guys, their effects trigger because they say if they're special summoned through the effect of a Metaphys card, which is really good. Unless I'm mistaken, unless I misread the card. From what I read them, they get special summoned by a Metaphys effect, they trigger. So yeah, you can trigger your guys. Unless it said monster. Maybe it said monster. Who knows? But yeah, I think it said monster, but this guy still summons your dudes. It can still summon your Ragnarok. It can still summon your big guys. It can still banish and out cards. It's just really, really good. And even though you can technically search it with Metaphys, every time you search off Metaphys, it's during your opponent's standby. So you're searching a trap on your opponent's standby and then setting it and waiting another turn. Nah, that's why I play 3 of this, because I need to open it. Okay, because the way you search it, you have to wait too long, and you want to open with this turn 1. You really do. It's a good, like I said, reactive combo piece that gives you disruption. It's another layer of disruption that you can add on top of your Mechaba, on top of your Colossus, on top of your Titan. You know what I'm saying? It's really good. Then we have Triple Ascension. This card is great. It's actually kind of new, but not that new. What it does is it discards any Metaphys card. You have a lot of Metaphys cards, actually. You have the 2 field spells, you have your 10 monsters, and you have your 6 traps. That's 18 cards, right? That's 18 Metaphys cards. Discard a Metaphys card, draw a card. Then you can banish 1 Metaphys card from your deck, except for another copy of this, which I don't understand why. And I think it has another effect. Yeah, that's what it is. If this card is banished, you can add 1 Metaphys card from your deck to your hand. So, yeah, like, I guess in theory, you can use Goldsark, because Goldsark banishes any card. You can use Goldsark to banish Ascension, and then use Ascension's effect to search any Metaphys monster. But normally, the way I use Goldsark, I always banish my Thunder Dragons. Unless I already have a Thunder Dragon combo that I can somehow do without Goldsark. Like, for example, Origin, Linkuriboh, and Hawk. Like, that's a play right there. You can do your Thunder Dragon. Then I'd probably do Goldsark and then banish this. So, yeah, there is a way that you can search the trap turn 1. But it's a wasted play for me because I'd much rather use Goldsark on more powerful cards. Like, for example, getting off my Metaphys, getting off my Daedalus, getting off any of my Thunder Dragon plays. So it's really powerful. But yeah, theoretically, Goldsark becomes a Rhoda for both archetypes because of this card. But I never really use Goldsark that way. But it is pretty advantageous that you can if you want to. And also the fact that, you know, you can still stack. This is another sacky target off of your Ragnarok. So yeah, the deck can be kind of consistent, but it's really not that consistent. It's not. It doesn't really do the same thing all the time. It has different plays all the time. Like, you know, consistent for me is when you can do one thing all the time, frequently. But with this deck, it does a lot of weird stuff all the time. Like, it changes every time, every game it changes. Different decks call for different plays, different scenarios. So like, yeah, the deck can be kind of consistent. But I'll say this, in terms of generating advantage and searching out what you need, the deck is like, I'll give it a 6 out of 10 on that. I mean, your Goldsarks, your Crossbreeds help. Your Ragnarok can help. This trap can help, you know. Your Thunder Dragon Dark can help. Your Alistair is kind of like a pseudo setup because Invocation can banish Metaphys monsters. And Invocation can banish Thunder Dragon monsters from your grave. So you can use Invocation as a way to trigger them, which is really cool. But yeah, these are the only traps. I'd say in terms of just sheer card economy, Ascension is the best trap. But if you want reactive plays, yeah, Metaphys Dimension is the way to go. But you will get advantage off this no matter how you resolve it. So yeah, you could Goldsark it, add anything you want. I recommend just banishing like a Thunder Dragon monster or a Metaphys off of it. But if you really want to, you can Goldsark this and search just to get a Metaphys card that you need if you really need to. And also its effect to just draw and then banish is the best effect. So I'd rather open with it and set it. But yeah, it's pretty good. So yeah, 41 card main deck. I couldn't do 40 because I didn't want to cut any of my traps. I like those traps. So extra deck, we have Double Titan. No, I don't have Colossus. So if you're asking me, that's the reason why I don't have Colossus in my extra deck, because I don't have Colossus. Then we have Triple Mechaba. When you're summoning your Mechaba, you're always triggering a banished effect off of a Metaphys or a Thunder Dragon, which is really cool. So you normally get some kind of advantage off of summoning Mechaba. So like I said, these engines actually do work together. They really do. They complement each other. One engine can pick up where one's slacking. For example, you're like, ooh, I need to get that effect resolved. And you're like, oh, I'll just summon a Mechaba, and now I can get that Metaphys to resolve because I can actually just banish the Metaphys, get its effect. Or, you know, oh, okay, now I have a play to make because my Ragnarok accidentally banished the Thunder Dragon. Or, you know, like, the way that they work together is really awesome, too, how you can set up your turn 1 boards when you have, like, your Alistair, you have your Alistair, and you have your Goldsark, and you have another combo piece for your Metaphys or your Thunder Dragons. You can actually set up for all 3 engines turn 1. You can get out your fusions for your Invoke and your Thunder Dragon fusions, and you can get your Metaphys cards banished, and the standby, they'll generate your follow-up, which is really good. So, yeah, those are the... Well, these are the fusions. Then we have Purgatrio. Next up, we have the one Alistair the Invoker of Madness. Really good card to go into. When you summon your Thunder Dragon, guys, if you summon it through Thunder Dragon Fusion, that is a fusion summon, so you can trigger its effect to add Invocation. Then you can play Invocation, banish him from the field because he's Alistair on field, and any light, and you can summon Mechaba up here, and you'll have your Titan. And if you use the zone of him to summon Colossus, that's even better. You have Colossus, Titan, and Mechaba turn 1, which is really good. And then we have one Summer Summoner, because there is an interaction where he will come up, and he's pretty good. He does give you 2 open zones. He's a Thunder Effect monster. You can leave him on field if you want to trigger your his effect to special summon your guys, like your little main deck guys. And, you know, if you properly fusion summon your Titan or properly fusion summon your Colossus, you can bring them back off of him. So, yeah, it's really good. Then we have Hippo Shinigen, Underclock. We have some Nightmares, of course. You always got to play Nightmares because they just give spot removal to any deck. And then we have 1 rank 4 Exoton Knight, broken. And we have 1 True King of all Chlamydia, because you can actually summon this guy turn 1 when you bring out Alistair the Invoker of Madness. Because you can fusion summon, go into Mechaba, use Alistair's effect, discard, search for another invocation, play Invocation. You can actually banish Alistair, the Invoker of Madness, or you can banish your Alistair if you have one in grave or somewhere in rotation. But either way, you're going to summon a second Mechaba, overlay the 2 level 9s for a turn 1 True King of all Chlamydia, and then you're going to kill your opponent next turn. So yeah, that's why I play him. And that is going to conclude the deck profile, you guys. It's very interesting. I didn't know how I ended up doing this. I just knew that I wanted to make Metaphys good, but I knew that they couldn't be good by themselves. I'm sorry, you guys, Metaphys fans. I understand. The deck is really cool. It is. Don't get me wrong. You know, I respect this deck because it is pretty cool. But I don't think that it's competitive in any way, shape, or form. Is Metaphys competitive? The only thing that can even give this deck a chance is actually just these monsters right here, Nephthys and Daedalus, because they're board wipes, and you have the ability to crack a board wide open. But other than that, it's really grindy, and you can potentially nab some wins, but it's not going to be a consistent, you know, winner all the time. But playing engines like Thunder Dragon and Invoked give you a way fairer chance, and if you wanted to, you can absolutely just cut each of the traps to 1 if you wanted to, and then you have 4 hand trap slots right there. You can also cut 1 invocation if you don't care about the interaction of actually using the second invocation to go into another fusion the same turn for the OTK plays. There's more room for hand traps. You can cut Meltdown to 1. You can cut Factor to 1. You know, you can make space for hand traps if you want to, but I wanted everything to be combo pieces with this build. So yeah, that concludes it. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Definitely let me know your honest opinion and feedback in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Of course, I really would. God bless you guys. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Don't do drugs. You folks have a beautiful day, all right? And I think I'm going to go to sleep now because I haven't slept in like 37 hours. Peace out, you guys.